Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Fresh Meat Prolander Cup. This is the main event, a 7v7 tournament with some new players to the competitive scene. We are already into our first match. It is Ringers versus Fair Affinity. I'm CJ. I am joined tonight by Gem on the camera doing all the production, and Alto is going to be casting. And Alto, tell me what you can see in this match, but it's already started.
It's like I'm actually just loading in right now, so I can't. I'm gonna need.
That's fine. That's fine. We've got actually, for people who are watching on the stream, we have on the blue team we have Team Ringer, and on the red team we have Fair Affinity tagged up as Yif, and we do actually see, in fact, it is the Ringers who are controlling the point on King of the Hill product. So we've got a nice match of King of the Hill to begin with. We do see them losing a few players though. They are running a Pyro. Cheese Calzone is on the Pyro. He is dead for the time being. We do see a spy in play. Corbishi is in on the spy, maybe trying to get behind enemy lines and maybe make a pick just to stop that push coming in from Fair Affinity. And it does look like the red team are pushing forward and maybe able to cap it.
I think they're taking over here. It does look like Corbishi is going to be going in for that stab. Will take out Wahoo, the red heavy there. Red is getting very aggressive on this point though, and just with a combination of aggression and spam seems to force the blue team off. Despite having uber disadvantage, their med, I believe her name is Vaulty, makes me happier or love me at the server, is very low though. Will get bombed out by Random, the soldier on blue team. He's going to continue the chase, ends up taking out the med, so really good bomb out by him right now. And it looks like blue team will recap. Voltoid, the red scout, will be getting caught out behind them as well. So blue team back in control of the point.
Didn't take them very long to regain control there. But the problem is they've lost a couple of players. They are going to be on the respawn. One of them is a spy, though, so not really a tanky defensive play. But you look at Brzezinski there, the demo man. He is just being very aggressive, just denying those choke points, not allowing anyone to get in for free, just making sure they are going to be tagged as they come in. But we do see Fair Affinity deciding to push up here. We've got a Pyro just spy checking. Seems like his job at the moment is just checking out for that spy, Corbishi, on the other team. But slowly but surely they're walking forward, and we've got Kenvi there, the sniper. They're making some space for him. He does get a pick, but the medic is extremely weak. Make me happier. I'm not sure what you said the name was, but huge sticks from Uber Alish takes down Random LFT, and they are getting some picks here. And it looks like the slowly but surely approach is working out for them as they get the picks. They walk forward, but the spy comes in. Doesn't manage to get anything. Gets caught out by that spot Pyro. So you know, the Pyro spy checking, which is something I don't usually see. In Prolander, from what I've seen, it seems to be working out well for them.
All right, yeah, and after that good push by Red, let's just take a moment to introduce Prolander just to the viewers who may not know what it is. Prolander is a game mode. Singafu is the father of the game mode, big engineer main, and it's a 7v7 game mode with class limit 1. So it's similar to the player numbers of 6s with the kind of style of Highlander, since you have multiple different classes coming out. You'll have pyros, snipers, spies, heavies, engineers, all kind of running around, and class switching is a major part of the game mode. As I was saying that though, there was a bit of an Uber exchange for both teams. With Fair Affinity Ubering into the Ringers cliff side, the counter Uber did get popped, but unfortunately too many players dropped beforehand, and it looks like Ringers are going to end up getting caught out with their medic Armaicho going down right at the end of that. So Fair Affinity will continue to hold the point as they're looking to make a strong showing here.
Absolutely. I mean, you just take a look at the way that they set up. We've got the heavy on the rock here, and he's able to just deny anyone getting close to the medic. It's just a total anti-aircraft gun. We do see a soldier coming in. It's random. He's getting really far forward. So much damage down there. And finally does get a kill. It's onto the demo, which is a huge pick, and actually gets away with his life. And everyone else was just so weak. It takes him a few seconds just to heal up and get back into position. And it's great play there. It's not really a suicidal bomb coming in from the soldier. It's just pressuring the players coming in, so they're not able to just walk in for free. And that's something that's so important in any competitive game. Huge headshot there from Bismuth, who gets the headshot onto Kenvi, and looking well for them so far.
Yeah, Kenvi's though, that's Bismuth doing a lot of damage right now. Really forces that heavy to back off as Fair Affinity's pushing it. Actually looks like they're pushing it off of a conch, so a really nice play. Uber's going to come out too, and Armaicho is still kind of running out right now with 90%. Tries to juke Gary, but goes down. So Fair Affinity coming through with a really nice conch push, actually. Something I wasn't really expecting from some teams that don't have the most competitive experience. Since I know some high-level players that probably wouldn't be able to execute such a nice push off of that.
Yeah, that's the thing. Conch is such a powerful thing. We see it in Highlander. We've seen it a little bit in Sixes as well. And Prolander, I mean, just getting everyone into that blob and walking forward. Call it Bloblander, if you will. Just get everyone forward, getting that heals back from all the damage they're doing. But we do see ringers are walking forward. Brzezinski just seems to be the man to try and make things happen here. Just throwing out some damage. But Kenvi, the sniper for Fair Affinity at the moment, it's just watching these sight lines. Corbici goes down. Random's gone down. Players are dropping here for ringers. They are getting some pressure onto the point, but they don't have the players. Valtroid there, the scout for ringers, is just kind of cleaning up, or sorry, Fair Affinity, I should say, and they're just kind of, yeah, they're just holding their ground here and not allowing them to cross that line. Who does cross that line gets punished. And once they get punished, they lose their life, and it's all over. And it does look like Uber comes in here, just holding on to the point. Random gets air shot by Gary. Insane play. Wow, that first round there goes to Fair Affinity.
Yeah, really just powerful play coming out from them and Valtroid, and it looks like their team knows how to kind of play around that whole blob format a little better as they're sticking together, getting in on those conches, using Ubers really effectively, it seems. And Blue has their moments. Bismuth had some really good shots there, but I feel like if they're going to want to win this round, they'll have to just stick together a little bit more. You know, maybe not drop as many players, and really just try to maybe focus out Valtroid, who does go down early on this mid-fight. So an opportunity for ringers here, as Brzezinski's going to drop off cliff, is trying to get some spam in behind rock, and takes the red medic decently low. Yeah, actually, make me happier is very low. Will go down to a rocket from Random, pushing in from concrete side. Random goes in for a big bomb, takes out Uber as well, and looks like that will secure the mid for the ringers here. So a really good showing from them after losing the first round.
Yeah, really strong mid-fight, which they did in the previous round. Let's not forget they were, the team to actually take control and have the early long holds. But it just seemed that in the end, Fair Affinity just adapted, managed to walk forward and end up winning that round. So I feel this is a best of 3 by the looks of it. But here we go. We see this is the problem that was happening before. Ringers in control of the point, losing players. And if you lose your demo man, that's a lot of spam potential out of the equation. You're not able to lock down these straights. And you can see coming in from the far side, Gary able to jump for free. Does get the force here onto the medic. Macho has to use that Uber, as the Pyro comes in here. I'm not sure what potentially was the thought process there, but look at the amount of space Kenvi has. He's just able to just take pot shots at people. Sooner or later, he's going to land a shot onto somebody important, but we do see a lot of damage. Miles is there trying to get, and finally Kenvi gets that headshot onto him. And absolutely insane that the red medic here for Fair Affinity has died. So no heals for them. They are going to get in control of the point, but of course, as soon as you capture that point, when you're in control of the point on a King of the Hill map, your respawns are longer. So that means our Maicho is going to have a much larger Uber over the opposing medic, and that means they're pretty much going to take this point back for free.
Yeah, our Maicho is sitting on about a 55% Uber advantage over the red medic Happier. And they will end up recapping here without even needing to get that Uber after those long spawns just prevented Fur Affinity from really being able to get back in there. So some fights going on right now as Uber, the red demo, is getting aggressive here. He's getting really good damage onto Miles O'Brien, but Bismuth actually going to take out Happier in Valley there. So kind of punishing them for getting aggressive without, making sure he's been taken care of first. Although Soinch is going to take out the enemy Pyro with a reflect pipe, and Bismuth will even out that frag with Valtroid. Actually, Gary going in with that conch we saw before, going to solo drop the med, leading to what's probably going to be a recap for Affinity here. But Random and Brzezinski have some things to say about that. Uber will get aggressive, though, and it looks like he's going to take out Brzezinski and finalize that cap.
Yeah, this is actually just working out for them as they kind of just slow push these, get these picks, and based on the numbers advantage they have, just taking control of the point again. And once again, they're in control of the point. They have a lot of time to make up here. They're over a minute and a half away. Look at Wahoo here, just getting really far forward, but he loses out that heavy battle. Not having a buff is very important. Does finally go down there, Miles O'Brien. But in the end, it is actually just Fair Affinity holding onto the point here, and kind of this hold is difficult for ringers to break into.
And it does look like the stream's having a little bit of technical difficulties, so you'll have to bear with us just for a moment as we get everything set back up again. Hopefully you can try to tell what's going on the round with our voices right now. Fur Affinity does have a minute left. Fur Affinity has a minute left on the point, and or they have a minute captured on the point as they currently control it. Ringers have 50 seconds left, and Bismuth is going to land a nice shot onto Happier. So heal advantage for the Ringers right now, as Random's going to go in for a nice bomb to create some pressure. Miles O'Kryan getting on the point, going to get taken out by Kenvi, actually, who's going to get counterbombed by Random. Does go down. Lots of frags being traded here as well. Who's Red Heavy is going to escape with his life, but Ringers take the point back and only have a minute left to hold.
Yeah, it works out well for them. They get that transition. Gary, they're going down to the pipes from Brzezinski. And again, this is all about it for Ringers. They're around down here. They need to win this round to stay in this. And it's going to be really important for them to not bleed players. Although you see Bismuth there on a 6-kill streak, takes down Wahoo, the enemy heavy. And it's just really interesting. We haven't seen spies this round. We haven't seen any kind of off-classing onto the spy, maybe to try to break that sniper, hold. Or we do see Kobishi on the engineer just trying to maybe just get a bit of a more defensive hold here. They worked out that losing the point is where their weakness is at the moment. Gary going in for a bomb, just flying in the air, does actually get the force onto Armaicho. So that is an Uber that is going to be used. They pick up a couple of frags. Might should be picking up the Pyro here. So Inch does get taken down by the Stickies. 3 down for Fair Affinity. They have to get onto the point right now. In comes the players and huge Stickies from Uber Alish. Oh my days, that is practically a wipe. He gets 3 kills. Kenvi picks up the medic as well right at the end there. There's a level 3 in main. Kobishi is going to lose that and surely get picked up. I know he doesn't. He uses the wrench to take down Valtroid. But that is insane. Up against the wall, Fair Affinity just throwing their bodies onto the point. Huge place from the demo man there.
Yeah, unsung hero there as well. I think there might be Valtroid. He landed the Mad Milk onto Miles, the blue heavy, and was able to just kind of tank. It looked like almost all of the Ringer's damage while both killing the heavy and giving his demo time to come in and land those fat stickies to really just clear the point. So overtime for blue team right now. 45 seconds remaining for Fur Affinity on this point. And Ringers are bleeding players right now, so they may be able to hold this. Uber advantage in the side of Fur Affinity as well. Happier is sitting on 85% or so right now to only 35% on the Ringers. So even though they're down in time, if they don't drop anyone here, they may be able to hold this.
It's going to be really, really important. I mean, they have to break down this hold, this defensive hold, but also there's an Uber in play. Armaicho is not going to get his in time, so they're going to have to try and get something. Brzezinski goes down as well. That's a lot of damage potential out of the way. Random goes in for a bomb, but gets cleaned up. That's 2 down now for Ringers. Make that 3 as Cheese Calzone also goes down. They are just bleeding players. They don't have an Uber charge to work. Armaicho surfs onto the point, but it's not going to be good enough. The conch comes out, the Uber comes out, and Fair Affinity are going to take the second round. And I do believe this is a best of 3, as we have finished according to the config. I mean, I'm not as adept with Prolander, but is best of 3 on King of the Hill the norm?
In Prolander, actually, you generally play matches to 4, but halves are to 2, unlike in Highlander where halves are to 3. So we're at the halftime right now. I believe it's 2 halves that they're playing here, so I'm not sure if that means we'll just see another kind of best of 2, which I think is what's going to be happening here.
Yeah. So it's first to 4.
Yeah, it looks like that. Well, I heard there's no tiebreaker, so it may just end up being they may be able to tie 2-2 if Ringers come in and 2-0 this back.
What do you think that Ringers need to do here, based on what we've seen so far? Because they seem really strong from the get-go, winning the mid-fights and holding the points. At one point there, they had less than a minute to tick down on the clock, whereas Fair Affinity had over 2.5. They had well over 1 minute 30, 1 minute 40 advantage on the opposing team. And how do they lose that? What's going wrong for Ringers that they're not able to recapture the point once they've lost it?
I think it really just looks to me like they're bleeding players on offense when they have the point way too frequently. You have some. I remember after they capped one of those times, Brzezinski was getting really aggressive into the enemy valley, got caught up by a scout there. I think Cheese Calzone got taken out by a reflect pipe, which granted isn't really his fault, but these things happen, and TF2, it's a very chaotic game, and you kind of got to be prepared for them. That, and I think they really need to start trying to shut down Gary. He may be on the bottom of the scoreboard right now, but he's had some really big plays with his conches always seeming to kind of lead to a recap for Red, and he's gotten a lot of forces and even a drop off onto our Maicho, the blue medic. So blue does have a pyro that's cheese calzone there. I'm kind of looking for him to maybe start reflecting some rockets, deny that conch damage, deny those bombs maybe a little bit more, see if he can give his team some breathing room, since Gary's really not letting them get that much.
Absolutely. I'm just looking at the logs right now. I'm not sure if it's possible to get them up on screen, but the top fragger in that game was Valtroid, the scout for Fair Affinity. Got 18 kills to 9 deaths, so well over a kill a minute. We see the Pyros kind of at the bottom of the scoreboard. Probably what you'd expect. They're more utility around the combo, you know, checking for the potential of spies, denying Ubers, things like that. But it is kind of, you talked about Gary there. You know, he didn't have as many kills. He's right in the middle of the scoreboard. He's at 8 to 6. But, you know, it's about the openings, getting in there, getting the forces, just getting that distraction, jumping over. Brzezinski went absolutely huge with 565 damage per minute on the Demo Man. The problem I see there is that he's getting out nearly 100 or over 100 DPM more than the opposing demo. However, his team needs to clean up on that, and there needs to be players coming in. I think the key player here is Kobishi, okay, for Ringers, because he started off on the Spy. We saw him playing some Engineer. Engineer is actually the most played he actually had, and then Scout was in the middle there. So, you know, maybe he needs to be on the Scout, because I feel a Scout is so important on a map like this that if your demo is pumping out that damage, you need to be able to go in there and clean up the kills on those damaged players, and Scout is the best class to do that. So maybe they'll have to kind of, I don't know, work out how to do that. If Kobishi wants to be running Spy or Engineer, maybe the Pyro needs to be more aggressive on following up on the damage. I don't know. It's just kind of about following up on those kills. But it's pretty crazy when you consider, you know, the huge damage difference. But we are readying up because this is the second half going in. So for those of you just joining us, this is the Fresh Meat Prolander Cup. And our first match today on Product is between Ringers and Fair Affinity. After the first half, Fair Affinity are currently 2-0 to the good. And they're looking strong. And Uber Halish is really in deep already.
Yeah, really quick rollout coming out from him, as he's going to get point control very early. Ringer's kind of going for more of a slow rollout, with a lot of their players heading out to the side. Random is going to go in for a bomb, but it's not going to be followed up. And Kobishi back on that Spy will get caught out by who's that on Pyro? That's So-Inch on Pyro. So already 2 players up. Looks like Per Affinity will try to get aggressive here. Wahoo walking in will take out Miles and going to force out the remaining survivors on the Ringers. So a mid fight coming in for them, and a little surprising that this is their first mid, considering they did win the last 2 rounds.
Absolutely. It's kind of a strong start there. You do see Kobishi on the Spy. He is behind, currently in house, so maybe going for a pick now. Sniper is not running Razorback or anything like that, so it should be a decent opening there. He does drop down, he gets the heavy instead. Wahoo is down. He does get caught out, but that is a decent trade. And that should allow Ringers to take this space, a huge chunk of HP off the battlefield. And you see Miles O'Crine is just getting baited by his team. He's trying to walk forward. The Uber is finally used, but he is going to go down. A lot of players dead for both teams here, as Ubers are flashed multiple times, but Random comes in. Huge rockets to take down a couple of players. Valtroid is here, and he's cleaning up again. Brzezinski is on. Surely he can't win this 1 versus 2 against a Demo and a Scout. Kobishi is now onto the Scout himself. Can he help out in this fight? He's trying to get the Demo. He's so weak. 5 HP on Uber Alish, but he does get out into house. And once again, talking about Valtroid, their top fragging in the previous game, he's just there to clean up the frags when all that damage is. Once that Uber's over, once all the players are weak, he comes in and starts to clean up.
Some might say he's baiting his team, but some might also say he's top fragging. So he's playing Scout the way it should be played. And really chaotic Uber fight we just saw there, with actually some really nice flashes coming in from our Maicho, but ultimately just not enough, as too many of his players were grouped up in that Uber and just kind of ate a lot of residual spam damage, which a lot of Fair Affinity seems to have avoided. Korbishi's in super aggro though, coming in from Cliff, will take out Happier, that red medic, and he's still going to be aggro, running in 2 shots Valtroid. He's getting in on Gary, not gonna end up winning that one, but some really nice shots coming out from him there.
That was brilliant. That was brilliant. Both from Kobishi and from Brzezinski. Brzezinski going forward and he just throws out so much damage, and he gets kills. He gets another kill onto Kenvi, the sniper. He was doing so well previously, Kenvi. He's currently on 0 points. He's just being denied by both the demo man, who's just walking forward, and Kobishi on the scout. He's just getting aggressive, just getting in really deep. Random there is always on fire, and he gets it taken out by a panic attack, of all things. But we do see Ringers kind of, in control of the point and about to take the lead in the time.
Yeah, no, things are going well for them. They have Uber advantage as well, so, at least for another 25%, 10 or so seconds, they're not really going to be able to kind of get near this. Kenvi is going to go down to Korbishi, who's just kind of flanking as well. He's actually hiding up on China, will end up getting taken out by Wahoo, but that's enough of a distraction for Uber to go down to Brzezinski. Uber trade will come out. Some flashes coming out from the blue team as Miles and Cheese Calzone are taking this and doing a really great job of denying point. Although Cheese Calzone will get taken out, actually. Armaicho is going to get chased out by Valtroid. Very low on both sides. Armaicho could hit the arrow and win this, and he does! Valtroid getting taken out by the blue medic. I think he ate a pipe from Brzezinski as he was chasing in. Gary going to go in just as a distraction for Uber to come in. Gets Armaicho and Brzezinski, actually. So after some really just chaotic sacks and chases going back and forth, and ends up with the blue medic dead and Fur Affinity capturing the point with about a minute disadvantage here.
That was well played by Maicha there. I mean, used Uber on the point at just the right time, milked it enough so that people didn't take too much damage, but, managed to keep everybody alive. But the problem was from Ringers is that they chased for the medic too much. They kind of had a better Uber and decided they wanted to chase across the point, when in reality, holding on to the point would have been a much better situation and just kind of consolidate that position. But I'm actually doing a great job, but is going to be having an Uber disadvantage again as gets headshot there by Kenvi, starting to turn up in this second half. And it's all going to be about whether Ringers decide to get out or go all in. Blitzsmith does take down Kenvi, but they are losing some players here, and everyone else is weak. Armaicho hasn't regrouped yet, just on the respawn now. 75% on Make Me Happier, or Love Me, whoever the actual name is. The red medic for Fair Affinity, huge Uber advantage for them, and they just kind of have to hold on to the point now, and they should be able to win this next fight.
Yeah, it's kind of getting flashback to the last round where you had a really convincing showing from the Ringers in the beginning, but then a couple misplays, they lose their medic, they lose Uberad, and looks like a really aggro bomb coming out from Gary right there as Wahoo walks forward. He's going to get 3 kills so far. Armaicho going to go down to Valtroid on the back end of this, and it looks like he's going to try to get the demo as well. Will get chased out actually by Bismuth's SMG of all things, as Sniper on China going to try to get a glory shot. He's going to be forced off though. Brzezinski bleeding, trying to get really aggro with very little health. Might be a bit of a, might be getting too caught up in the moment right there. As the Uber is going to come in really aggressive into Cliff. Cheese Calzone doing a really good job of stopping that so his medic doesn't immediately die. Soing still in on this. Will go down to Miles as the rest of the Ringers are going to have to just try to desperation get in. Wahoo is ready for them though. Catches 1, 2, 3, 4 frags right as the round ends. And Fur Affinity will take this round and be up 3-0 on the game right now.
Yeah, I do think that is GG, as they've taken 3 rounds. I guess there's no way back for Ringers in this game. Such an aggressive Uber, that is something you don't generally see going in that deep, but they did, and that's the thing, when they have that huge Uber advantage, you can just walk in there and just totally destroy anyone who's in front, and it just leaves so few players to be able to recontest and get back into onto the point, which is what Ringers needed. They needed somebody on the point to get that cap down. It does look like we're continuing somewhat. I'm not sure whether we're just going to be playing the final round for the sake of playing, see if they can get a round back onto the board here, Ringers. But yeah, Fair Affinity, I think, deserved winners after that. I mean, they just seem to be playing much better as a unit.
Yeah, definitely. Some really just, again, strong aggression coming out from them there, which is one of the most important aspects of playing and organized TF2 is just knowing when there's space you can take, and then just going to go take it.
Exactly. I mean, I was once told by a very, very wise man, Highlander main, so that the way to get good in TF2 is just hold W. You just never let go of W. As long as you're putting pressure on the enemy team, they're not going to have time to make decisions. They're not going to have space to try and get frags, and that's what Fair Affinity have been doing. But once again, we kind of see Ringers here who win the mid fight and are in control of the points, so they should be able to, maybe get around on the board here. But we've seen that so far, Alto, that's they win the mid fights, they take off a huge chunk of time, and then somehow Fair Affinity break down their hold and come back in, and it seems impossible for Ringers to try and re-push this. It seems that trying to push back in is their difficulty, but they are taking down players. Kenvi and Uber Alish have both gone down here, and there is a huge Uber advantage. Amaicho is at 100%. Make Me Happier is only at 5, as Kobishi is a double backstab. Valtroy and Wahoo both go down. But I mean, the spy coming good in this round at least.
Yeah, actually, Make Me Happier was disconnected there for a while, and did actually just reconnect, and kind of explaining that Uber disadvantage. So I do believe we are going to be playing out this last round, it looks like, as Uber knows he gets caught out and hits a taunt, just accepts his death gracefully. As Make Me Happier is still building Uber ad right now. We will see Kenvi go and land a headshot onto Armaicho. Strong pick coming out of him, as Fur Affinity will recap here. Bit of a handicap on them, as they were playing 6v7 for quite some time, as they've currently got about a 2-minute disadvantage to the Ringers. Brzezinski will actually pick off Make Me Happier with some really nice spam pipes coming in from Concrete side. And have to see if this newfound Uber ad for Blue is going to help them recap. Probishi going down to Gary on Cliffside, it looks like. Conch will get popped, but he's too low to do anything. It's body shot by Bismuth, and players dropping for Red, as Kenvi goes down as well to Bismuth. So should be a recap coming in for them.
Yeah, they're losing players, and actually Ringers looking good so far, but they lose their medic. Amaicho goes down. Uber Alish with so much damage, and this is not going to be good for Ringers. They are going to capture the point here. Bismuth probably better off just not capping. Actually, Valtroid is doing Ringers a favor, because if they captured the point there, their respawns would have been so much worse that they would have actually been at a disadvantage there. But in the end, it doesn't really matter too much, as it is just going to be Fur Affinity taking off some time. Kobishi comes in. Wahoo turns around just in time to capture the spy before he takes on any more players. They are catching up with the time, just about under a minute now behind, as they do have Fur Affinity with their medic now, unsurprisingly doing better when they've got some heals on their side. But they are a couple of players down. Amaicho is weak. He's only about 10% behind on the Uber stakes, and Ringers just seem really to struggle coming in there, just feeding into the meat grinder as Blissness goes down, as does Random. That's 2 down as they're trying to push here. Miles O'Crian is very weak. Might get caught out here by Wahoo as he's trying to chase him down, and once again we're kind of seeing this situation where Ringers try to push forward, Alto, and they're just kind of losing 1 player, 2 player, just cascades into more players going down, and the push just fails.
Alright, yeah, no, they're just getting aggressive, and it feels like they're not waiting for the rest of their team. Wahoo gonna get sent flying in, actually. Won't even go down. He's gonna be living on 3 HP. Does go down to the SMG of all things from Bismuth. But really just aggro play here, kind of what we were expecting. Ring is actually in the middle of... that was Bismuth in the middle of Fur Affinity, going for a God shot onto Kenvi, and will take him down before getting taken out. We see a shred attack come out from Valtroid, and he's quickly punished by Random there. But yeah, just again, players are kind of running in alone, seeing Corbishi do that a lot in particular, just kind of running in from the flank, maybe dying before the push even starts, putting his team at a handicap. Teams in TF2, defender's advantage is pretty much always a thing, so you need to get a kill on the deep end if you want to push. Dropping players when you're trying to push in, never a good idea. They will recap though, a lot of frags going down, as Make Me Happier does end up going down here. 50% or so Uber ad for the side of Ringers, as they're going to try to get aggressive here, but Kenvi coming in with the shot onto our Maicho, try to even out these teams' Ubers. 30 seconds left, and Yif does have the advantage here, so we're going to have to see if they can take that as Valtroid runs in.
Yeah, the thing is the huge play came out of Kenvi because he took down Bismuth. There was no sniper for him to contend with, was able to just take 3 pot shots onto anyone he liked. He chose the medic, and Amaicho went down. which meant there was absolutely no heals to contend with on the side of Ringers. And we can just see Fair Affinity walking forward here. It's, less than 10 seconds for both teams now, but it is looking very, very strong for Fair Affinity to get something done. Uber Alice just taunting on the point. He doesn't care. Absolute disrespect. We are going to see some bombs. Brzezinski's going to throw down, and Kobishi's actually onto the point, but that panic attack comes out, and it is going to be Fair Affinity taking both halves 2-0. It's going to be a 4-0 win on their first map, and they're looking strong. I mean, at least on King of the Hill, they looked like they knew what to do. The mid-fights maybe a little bit shaky from them. It was, in fact, Ringers who won the majority of the mid-fights, but once they got control of the point, they seemed to be able to hold on to it for a long amount of time. And the amount of times they came back from, a minute or two deficit, that was impressive.
Yeah, we saw it right in that last round. They played the first 2 minutes without a medic, so they're, handicap of 1 minute on the clock versus 3, and they still just come back and, win it in not even overtime. So, pretty impressive. And it does look like this was one of the longer matches, so we will be having these guys kind of cycle out and getting new teams in as soon as possible. So, once that happens, we should have another game here.
Yeah, and I do believe we're going to be seeing a different map. We do have the logs on the screen, actually. I'm going to try and find them. Taking a look at that second game, which, I think after the third round, once essentially Fair Affinity had won, maybe their motivation was down a little bit, but it's actually Wahoo this time, going 19 for 7 on Heavy. I mean, on King of the Hill, doesn't matter what game mode you're playing, Heavy is probably not a class that you usually associate with not dying very much, especially with the snipers allowed so much free roam, but he did get the top frag there. Uber Alice just behind. This time, it was in fact him that got the highest damage award, 450 DPM. Pretty tasty indeed. More than Brzezinski, who was down at 386. But we do see some players there, Kobishi, who I kind of called out earlier for being the potential to, have a game changer in the second half. Did play more scout, was successful on the spy, got a couple of double backstabs there, and on the scout was putting on so much pressure. It really did work out well for Ringers. Take a look at Random and Kobishi. Those are the two players that you want to get pressure and get those forces and things like that. Valtroid, who was our previous top fragger in the first half, going 14 for 8. So, again, Scout doing well on King of the Hill. But I mean, nothing else really stands out too much from me there. But I think it was just team coordination, Alto. I think Fair Affinity just pushed well as a team. And when they did, they just went, balls to the wall deep, just went straight in. They didn't wait. Whereas Ringers just kind of tried to play it slowly. And they would lose one player, they'd lose two players. And once you're kind of playing 5v7, trying to kind of capture a point, it just doesn't work out well for you.
Yeah, definitely, CJ. When I think about that match, the one image that's probably going to stick in my head is just all of Fair Affinity running in with Gary on the conch, just, getting in, chasing behind Rock, going into Valley, and just really fragging out. And I think that's kind of the story of the match and a bit of a microcosm, just really, really good aggression and coordination coming in. So should be good to see how those two teams, kind of continue to develop, because both of them had some nice plays at times. But I think just in general, Fair Affinity was just stronger in their execution.
Absolutely. I mean, it's important to have players who have that DM capability. But if you're coming up, I was talking about Brzezinski, who did so much damage in that first half. So had the right idea, was getting aggressive, was denying chokes, was getting great kills on important plays. Focusing the sniper, landing a sticky on the sniper to take him out of a fight is huge, because he's not going to be peeking, gives your sniper a lot more space and time to try and get a pick. Was doing a great job there, but there just wasn't really much kind of playing around him. Maybe everyone else needs to be a little bit more aggressive and take the attention off of him, because once Fair Affinity realized that's where all the damage was coming from, he got focused a lot harder. So yeah, it's very important to have that team play aspect. We are going to be seeing a different map now. I'm not sure what map 2 is, Alto. Do you know what it is?
I'm not sure either, but we should get news on that shortly, as well as kind of seeing what's going on here. Does look like the server is changing maps now, so we will see that map in a matter of seconds.
Hey, we're about to start a raffle, by the way. For everyone that's watching the stream, can you type in FMPC in the chat, all caps, FMPC, and you'll be entered for a giveaway for serve.tfq.
All right, and yeah, just to kind of echo that, it does look like we will be having raffles beginning. So get that FMPC in the chat if
6
things
months
get
of
in
Serve
there.
Me Premium.
Yeah, 6 whole months to serve me for free. So definitely really good for any team looking to get started, have a server to practice on, look at maps.
Absolutely, Serve Me is a godsend for people who want to practice comp, whether it's Prolander, whether it's Highlander, Sixes, whatever it is. Even if you fancy some multi-duo or a little bit of cheeky MGE, you can grab a Serve Me server, just get involved, and choose what you want to do with it for that slot. So it's very, very useful indeed. FMPC, Fresh Meat Prolander Cup. That's what it stands for. If you hadn't worked it out already, I'm just giving you a little bit of intel there. Type it in all caps in the chat, and you'll be entered into the giveaway. As we're just gonna have a short advert in between the before we go for the next game.
We will be announcing the winner of the raffle after the event. I mean, right before the next match starts. So just get that in before we have to begin.
Tease me. Ah! Who? STNTrading for the discerning gentle person.
Welcome back from a cheeky little advert there. STNTrading, check it out. Wonderfully sponsoring this Fresh Meat Prolander Cup. We just saw the first game of tonight, which was Ringers versus Fair Affinity. That was over on King of the Hill Product. And Fair Affinity came out very, very strong indeed, winning both halves 2-0 for a 4-0 total score. So already looking strong in the first stages of this tournament. I'm CJ, joined by Jem, Alto. Alto, we're going to be moving on to Upward for the second map, which in Prolander is a totally different kind of scenario. We're going to see a lot more engineer, I expect, right?
Yeah, definitely. And I think one of the biggest things, when you make the jump from Highlander to Prolander, it's just the map times decrease. You have that many less players, that's that many less things to stop you from pushing, and you tend to see longer times. That's not always true. One team kind of being decently ahead of another will still lead to some long times, but in general, you kind of maybe want to expect like 2 minutes off the times that you normally see. But we'll have to see how these two teams end up playing. It does look like we will be having Source and Friends on the blue team. As far as the red team goes, I don't think we've had a name for them yet. So might get one of those in, might not. We'll have to see how it goes. Just for anyone wondering, I do believe the Uncle Dane in the server is not the actual Uncle Dane. We do have an imposter, so...
Yeah, I can confirm because I have Uncle Dane on my friends list. Not to shout about it.
Name drop, I see.
Yeah, just casually name dropping. The Uncle Dane. Yeah, but no, it's definitely maybe just a fan, or maybe just someone who coincidentally is also called, Dane, who is an uncle. You never know, that could just happen.
Yeah, no, it's there's got to be a bunch of Uncle Danes out there somewhere, and one of them playing TF2 is definitely a possibility. We have gotten word that this will be Team Source and Friends versus Team Bro ... iGame.
Team Bro. I don't like having to talk too much.
Yeah, I don't. My whole casting cadence gets interrupted with ellipses where they shouldn't be. So, so I think we'll just abbreviate that, Team Bro. And it does look like Team Source and Friends does need one more player to get in here. We'll have to see how that goes.
Yeah, I mean, just to go back to what you were saying about the shorter times thing, something that people always ask me over the years, what's the biggest difference in between Highlander and 6v6? Obviously, the player difference is a huge thing, but also, you get punished because of that. So if you die in Highlander, depending on your class, it might not be as big of a deal. If you're a demo in Highlander, you die, it's bad. It's not good for your team, but it's not as bad as it could be because you still got a pyre, you still got a heavy, you still got a sniper, etc. Whereas in sixes, if you're a demo and you die, that's a whole sixth of your team out. It's huge. It's huge, and that's the same kind of thing in Prolander. If you die, compared to this in Highlander, it is so much more punishing because it's so much easier for the enemy team to overwhelm you. So we are going to be probably seeing a lot of engineers on defense. There are actually teams, the team that won the invite season in Europe, at least, last season, didn't actually run engineers on defense. They didn't go for engineer at all, which was really interesting to me because every other team decided they wanted that tanky effect, wanted to have an engineer with teleporter and stuff like that, but they just played a more free-flowing style, just kind of tried to DM their way around on the defense, which seemed quite interesting. And I mean, it's quite fun. I mean, no, nothing against engineers, but sitting there and guarding your sentry might get a little bit monotonous. But I have to see. I mean, I'm guessing here, Alto, that as we have an Uncle Dane in the server, he's probably going to be playing engineer.
Yeah, definitely. I'd be expecting that. And to just kind of follow up on what you were saying, Froyotech, some relative no names. You guys probably haven't heard of them. They won the invite division in Sigafu's RGL Prolander League last season, and yeah, they genuinely didn't run engineers. Just because, they're thinking, who needs a sentry gun when you have, players like Banny and Habib on a team that are basically just sentry guns, without the requirement to build them. So,
hey, we're going to do a last call for the raffle right now. So if you haven't yet and you're in the chat, please type in FMPC full caps into the chat, and we're going to be picking the winner in about 10 seconds. So you have 10 seconds to type FMPC all caps into the chat.
Get those FMPCs in there, boys.
Yeah, counting down there, as I can see in the chat. It's nothing. I love a countdown. I love a good countdown. Just get down to 0. Are we announcing the winners straight away, or do we find out later?
Looks like there's going to be a bit of suspense on this raffle.
Negative countdowns are even better. Of course. Screw. How do you pronounce that? Screw.
Oh, I know that guy. It's Hugh. His name's Hugh.
Hugh. Oh, well, congratulations to Hugh for winning the first raffle of the day.
Yeah, you should be receiving info about your 6-month free Serve Me subscription ad.
And also, if you're here and you're also a Donor Plus member of the Discord, please go into the donor raffles because we're going to be announcing the winner for that as well.
So double the chance to win, especially if
Yeah.
you donated to this great event. So
If you've donated a Key Plus, hop into the donor raffles channel. There are currently 10 people in the raffle. There are 3 Bills hats being raffled. If you've donated over a key and you're on stream right now, please don't forget to click the emote on this.
and it does look like these teams did get their last player in, so we should be starting fairly soon.
I'm optimistic, and I'm kind of a little bit excited for this because King of the Hill, it's insane. It's just DM, isn't it? You just go in and you frag out. Whereas I'm expecting Payload. We go upward here. I'm going to see some more spy. We're going to see some more engineer. We're going to see some more kind of utility being used by the teams. What you sacrifice for that engineer on defense, which player do you switch off? And if you want to get a pick on spy, who are you going to switch off? Do you sacrifice the scout, which means less cart pushing power, or sacrifice the heavy, so you kind of got less tankiness? Who knows? I'm going to have to. Interesting to see how these teams. So, do we know the results of these two teams in the first game? Do they both win their games?
Don't believe we do know their results. May end up finding out about that somewhere into the match, and we'll let you guys know once we do. And as we're in setup time here, it does look like red team is running an engineer. That is Uncle Dane there. Got Twitchy on soldier, Fordo on medic, Hunter on spy, Hino on heavy, Rivet on sniper, Uncle Dane on engineer, and Darty on pyro. It does seem that actually someone on blue team did end up crashing, so I think we may pause the server here. Just give them some time to get them back in.
Yeah, pauses happen. Maybe just a technical issue. Buying some time. We are on the STV now, so everything is going to be 90 seconds delayed. So we do see this pause. I'm not sure what's caused it. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, something I like to do in these pauses when it's not an action-based pause is just take a look at the hats. We've got Fordo here with a duck hat. We've got a duck orbiting himself. We've got Twitchy with, a green hat, and he's got an unusual rocket launcher as well. So, this kid trades, important. That's important in TF2. We've got Sunbeam's tree as well. We have a policeman heavy, Chief Bongo. Looks like he's ready to arrest some people, take some names. And Uncle Dane actually looks like Uncle Dane. So, I can't discount it. It may be an alt account. He may have multiple Uncle Dane accounts running the same loadout. Just fancies playing some Prolander,
Yeah, I'm just still on the server right now helping these guys out with the pause.
Just, I guess, waiting for whatever the technical issues are. I'm not sure what map 3 is. I do believe it's going to be a totally different game mode as well, as we are unpaused now. So we're just waiting for these teams to ready up. Twitch chat has been asked by Stanley Smith. Twitch chat, get your poggers ready. Grab a drink, sit back and relax, which is great. Great advice. If you don't have a drink, it's a hot day. Get some drink, get sat down, watch some Prolander, get those poggers ready. You're going to see some insane plays. We need that hype in the chat. Come on.
Get those poggers, get those lulls, the Omega lulls, maybe even a Craigasm in there or two, depending on
All right, hey, by the way, this is our last call for the donor raffle. If you're a donor and you haven't gone into the raffle, there are only 14 people that have registered for this raffle. If you have 2 more minutes, it will end at 3:10 EST exactly. If you've donated, please enter for a chance to win a Bills hat.
All right. And
sounds good.
Like,
yeah, we're ready up now.
Here. So the pause did occur in setup time, so you might see a little glitch, on the screen jump out at about 39 seconds, which when it was, you can see one of Blue's players is not in the server. He'll be back in there though, Chief Bongo. But should be good here now, as as I was saying before, it looks like Red is running an engineer on defense. No sniper and no scout, which is interesting. Scout not always run on payload defense. Sometimes you'll see that engineer kind of replace him, but actually no, they do have a sniper now. Does like one of their players suicided for the engineer and switched off of that, so we will not have a
demo.
Yeah, no demo. So
no demo.
Really, that's really bold call coming in here. Not run a demo man. Generally, that area denial is something that you really want on a team, just to kind of put out stickies, zone players back, hit multiple people at the same time. But it looks like, I believe that's Bro I Game not running the demo man. Maybe you're gonna rely on maybe just their sniper and the kind of superior defense that a Pyro and a Heavy can offer a medic. And Uncle Dane Sentry gun, of course, can't leave that one out.
It's a very close combat kind of combo here. The Pyro and the Heavy is going to require people to be pretty close to do that damage. Darty on the Pyro, just trying to get some reflecting going on, and they're in a kind of a tenuous position here. They're trying to take hold of the high ground, which is a good idea, but it's going to leave them open to getting sniped as Hunter gets taken down there by by Source, who is the sniper for Source and Friends. And they're just getting some cap time down, and there we go. Eclipse goes down. Enemy sniper down. Source starting to pop off a little bit here. Some grid aggression coming down. Uncle Dane is down to the sniper. That sentry is going to go down to under 3. Gets spammed out. The Uber's R exchange. Hino there is so far forward, just trying to get some damage down. He's surely going to get chased out here. Heavy cannot escape very well. And that is 3 up. Fordo there. The medic is going to get finished off by Boyfriend, the Pyro. And that was a very, very clinical first push there, Alto.
Yeah, and I think that's also might be a bit of a picture of why you want a demo man on defense, as the blue sniper just kind of walked out of spawn, killed the enemy sniper, and with that there was very little denial left for the red team, especially with their Pyro on Phlogistinator. So no air blast either. The Ubers get forced out, and even with even with both Mets dying, it would seem point is still being held. I might have missed something there because I thought Blue was very surely going to capture that, CJ. But
Yeah.
I guess the Flog might have had something to say about that. Rivet's going to land a nice shot onto Chief Bongo with under 3 getting in position onto the playground. Will take out Twitchy, the red soldier right now. And Hino will be staying aggro though, just kind of putting out a lot of pressure, forcing back the blue team, not allowing them to get near this card.
You see, it was Sayori, the medic for Source and Friends, who died. And without those heals, they weren't able to kind of really continue contesting. And the most important thing in this match right now is the teleporter exit by Uncle Dane. It's allowing the respawns to come in really quickly. And without the heal, Source and Friends weren't able to push. There is a sentry up. It's really passive. But now it looks like Team Bro is back in position. And it's kind of, you have to break down this defense all over again. But Eclipse has gone down to the pipes. So no sniping for the enemy team. The Uber is used. Fordo goes down so weak there, down to about 15 HP for having to pop his Uber. And that means Sayuri is going to have a huge Uber. But Darty with the Flog does manage to take down Boyfriend. So there's no enemy Pyro, and they're getting so much damage here. Medic goes down. Pyro is there on the dispenser. Surely is going to get picked off. Only 20 HP there. Stanley Smith is trying his best to take down this teleporter, but he's getting chased away by a spy. All of the team for Source and Friends are on the car. Oh, Fordo.
Oh no. Gonna do his best to kind of stall for time here. Will go down eventually. Probably just didn't get the memo that his team teleporter was not safe to take. And kind of tallies into 7 players. Does a good job juking him for a while, but unfortunately will go down, keeping Uber Ad in the side of blue team. Looks like we will see a bit of a hill hold coming up here with a Rivet or Eclipse. I'm not sure which one is his name and which one is the tag. Sitting on the sniper deck right now, gonna snipe out Chief Bongo as the rest of blue tries to get forward here. Hino playing in the side tunnel, Darty kind of on the rocks. Their sentry gun is in a passive position, and with Rivet going down here, it's gonna be Hino and Fordo kind of alone forward. Fordo's eating a lot of rollers, will go down to a rocket as Hino's gonna be kind of left out to dry here. Probably gonna go down to a generic name, and Uber gets forced. Actually, wasn't expecting that as Hino's going to dip into tunnel, try to run. Will find the other heavy and gets the rev advantage on him. Gets sniped out by Source from the other end of the tunnel, so absolute chaos unfolding on the hill on second here as we've got snipers flanking heavies and heavies flanking heavies. Rivet's going to be back on the bridge trying to get any exit frags here. Will not find any, however, as it looks like Blue is going to be able to get this card through the tunnel.
Yeah, and just look like Darty and Fordo are going to try and contest here, but they can't. They don't have the respawn advantage. And that is going to be Medic and Sniper down for the defending team. 2 huge classes in this situation. I just feel the lack of a demo is just allowing so much space for Source and Friends to just walk forward. They are going to get the second cap. 4 minutes and 30 is still not a super fast time, but they are getting the pick advantages over and over again. Source is going ham right now. I don't know how many kills is on the sniper. Uncle Dane is building a sentry up at the top. As I say that, Source gets another kill onto Darty. No Pyro. Source is just so far forward, ends up getting SMG'd down by the enemy sniper. That's how aggressive he was. They're just trying to get some kind of time on the car here. Sayori is pretty weak, so doesn't really want to commit too much in this house. But with no sniper for the defending team, that's going to allow them to walk forward with this Uber not having to pop too early. Actually, Boyfriend gets dropped from this, so no Pyro. He's going to be in this Uber. Generic name is going to take majority of it. Fordo is pretty weak, but the soldier comes from behind. Under 3, gets 1. Can he get the second? He's trying to melee him. The sandwich denies the kill from the soldier, but eventually goes down to generic name. 2 players down now for the defending team. Make that 3 as Uncle Dane gets sniped. Hunter gets caught out by the Pyro. And at the moment, Source and Friends are just looking unstoppable. Someone needs to kill Source.
Yeah, he's so aggro on these tracks, and he's been doing that repeatedly. Just runs in as aggressively as he can and tries to hit those quick scopes, which he's doing a very good job of. And I feel like we actually have seen Stanley switch off of Scout onto NG, maybe to get those teleporters in, but him not being on card probably delayed this third push by maybe a minute or so, since while Under 3 was, kind of just roaming around behind the entirety of Team Bro, no one was on that card there. So as dominant as we've seen them be, it kind of feels like they could be pushing an even faster time here. Source getting aggro again, kind of ahead of the rest of his team, trying to just zone out. This Ken takes out Uncle Dane. Under 3 is going to take out Twitchy, with Boyfriend taking out Hunter. Fordo gonna get taken out on the back side of something, perhaps? I'm not sure where he died. It looks like it was a vent, excuse me, by under 3 again, but Rivet is finally coming in with those frags here, as Hino's gonna take out Sayori, so again, more chaos as the players on red are playing really aggressive despite losing the point, and they do end up getting the med there, so I guess that's going to work out for them, especially if they can manage to get an upper hold or some kind of hold here, as we have a gun being built just on the back of third.
Yeah, it looks like they're still trying to contest this area on third and not deciding to just back off here. This sentry from Uncle Dane is trying to deny the cart and is actually going to get up a frag onto Boyfriend. Surely just trying to stop this engineer. Finally, Stanley takes it down, who is running the engineer now. Does get taken down by Twitchy in the end, but maybe deciding to get some teleporters up, get the aggro. Big jumping from Twitchy, almost gets the pressure onto Sayori, but gets taken down by Chief Bongo. Uncle Dane, again, is just deciding to build these aggressive sentries. The thing is, what it's allowing to do is allow Eclipse the space to get some more snipers off, and Hino is just so aggressive, takes down Sayori, takes down Stanley Smith. He's going to get another kill there. Generic name, the demo is also down.
Source on the spy class, under 3 also, both of them flanking. Uncle Dane gonna get taken out, it looks like. A not very difficult frag for them, as both 2 players are sitting behind. Rivet's gonna get an insane shot onto under 3 as Source goes down to the gun. Wasn't disguised, so maybe that sniper class is a strong suit. It looks like he might have forgotten to disguise on spy before he ran up to the gun.
Yeah.
You have a flog being popped from Darty, though. He's going to run in, hiding it with the power jack. He's getting close. The Uber comes out, and oh, this is going to be a massacre. Generic name goes down. Bongo goes down. Boyfriend actually has to escape into spawn, as Sayori is being chased into second behind the forward spawns. So we're seeing some pretty crazy action here, as this flog is just doing work.
Actually, Fordo gets taken down by Boyfriend, just respawning and dropping down and having a free medic pick, but the insane damage coming out of that crits flog kind of Uber combo there just allows them to get such a huge advantage. And again, they're in a decent position. Darty picks up more.
He got another flog off of the amount of damage he got in that kind of post Uber right there. And even though Fordo goes down, he's able to pick off Sayori again. And with that happening, these plays seem kind of crazy, but Uncle Dane's had the sentry gun. The cart's been rolling back this entire time and is almost actually back on the third capture point, as Blue, for all the frags they're getting, is really not putting that much emphasis on actually capping. So this is working out pretty well for them, as they probably stalled a minute or two. Darty coming in again with his third flog of this life. Gonna catch Sayori. Generic name and Bongo going down to Hino. Boyfriend going down. And Darty is absolutely having his way with the blue team right now. Kind of maybe filling in that demo role that you're expecting them to have, in just in terms of area denial, because who needs area denial? You can just outright kill 4 players whenever you want.
Yeah, Sayori has died about 4 or 5 times in succession now without getting more than about 20% Uber. It's just the pressure from that flog and from everybody else. So as you see, Hunter comes in behind on the car, he's going to get spotted and chased away there. It was an interesting hold. That sentry from Uncle Dane. Eclipse just kind of sniping now. Starts to picking things up here. Source was one popping off in the first few points, but now Eclipse seems to be the one getting those snipes in and just putting the pressure down. We see Hino, who's really aggressive. He's going to get taken down by the demo.
Another flog.
Where is it going to come in
1,
from?
2, and he only gets 2 before being taken out here by Source. Kind of sitting back there as insurance. It looks like Fordo's going to be caught out here. Maybe got a little lost in those hallways, and he maybe could have bailed out immediately, but runs into Boyfriend. Will get caught out here. But again, these kind of chaos plays are just coming in, giving Uncle Dane time to get a sentry gun up and keep it up. Source will be able to get a shot on it. Not going to take it yet. Going to try to get the engineer. You can see his dot there maybe on the wall if our cameraman's got it. As Stanley will try to get past here. The dispenser block was not good, it seems. So Stanley's going to be able to get in here. Will get a decloak onto Uncle Dane, and Rivet the sniper takes out Uncle Dane, gets the sap. Gonna butter knife Eclipse down, maybe? They're both pretty low. The SMG's coming out. It looks like Stanley will dip out of there at a 10 HP, but he did his job getting that sentry gun. His under 3's gonna walk right in and take Darty out before he gets any more flogs.
Yeah, the Uber's kind of playing around on the floor here, and it just kind of Source and friends not really knowing what to do other than just kind of settle on the cart. And Twitchy is allowed to get some free spam down here onto the players, trying to push up a good reflect there, and a lot of damage coming down. Chief Bongo takes down Fordo. There is no heals now. Darty is going to be alive, but doesn't have a flog charge. Oh, just trying to get some damage down, but it's not possible. Chief Bongo, a heavy on the cart. Very, very difficult to dislodge. But that is going to be a very long time. After looking so strong on the first point, the second point, the third point, they just get stuck trying to push last. 11:25, and even in a Highlander situation, Alto, you wouldn't be very happy with that time.
Yeah, definitely not. It's just seeing the time is a little jarring almost, because you see these really good Ubers and a lot of these just strong snipes coming out from who was that, Source and Friends in the beginning, and then Source switches off of Sniper. Those flog plays come in, and they just weren't putting enough pressure on card. I think is really the only thing you can say about it. You have all these frags coming in, but if no one's on card, it doesn't matter. Just give defense time to respawn and get back in there, especially with that teleporter on first. It got them another minute or two. Ended up with second, being held for a minute or two after all those tunnel plays. The same thing with third, and then you just had that really strong last hold with Darty running around getting flogged 3Ks left and right.
Hey, by the way, we're gonna do one more. We're gonna do another raffle after this for another Serve Me premium key for 6 months. Type FMPC in chat in all caps, and you'll be entered automatically. Thank you.
So there you go. While you're watching the Highlander, or sorry, the Prolander, type FMPC in the chat in all caps for a chance to win another Serve Me premium key. As we do go on to the second phase of this first round, and Eclipse there getting the first kill onto Stanley Smith. And we do see again, Alto, no demo coming out of Source and Friends. They're just sticking with Darty on that Pyro, which is going to be interesting to me how they're going to dislodge a Sentry. Source not running a Sniper. It's actually Stanley Smith on Sniper now. Source on the Engineer, and he's running the mini Sentries. So interesting choice. I think a level 3 would have really totally denied the Pyro, but we'll have to see how it goes.
It does look like we have Make Me Happier from the last game joining in. We'll end up leaving though. It's like that was a small mistake if anyone caught that. But yeah, definitely have to question the choice to run mini sentries. I feel like Team Source and Friends should be aware that Team Pro is not running a demo man. So without a demo man to take at a level 3, their first hold could be a lot harder to break. But Eno's actually on Scout now with Uncle Dane playing heavy instead of Engineer. He's gonna bonk in there just to maybe get some eyes on what's happening. Card's decently far up, but nothing really too important happened yet. I think Darty actually has Flog charge, so that's what I feel like they've been waiting on. Maybe gonna see Fordo link up with him, see if they can get in. Although he might be going on a flank play on his own.
Yeah, looks like he's gonna go in from behind. There is no level 3 sentry to deny any pressure. He's trying to jump up there. Might lose this fog charge. Not careful. Only 38 HP. He's trying to use that score shot and does go down. Stanley Smith now on the scout rather than the sniper. Comes in for the cleanup, and Darty was trying to kind of scorch shot jump up the side onto the playground area, and that would have been huge. Managed to get a flog crits off there, but getting cleaned up before using your charge, that is pretty bad, and it's going to be struggling for Team Bro to get something done. Actually, we do see Hunter now on the demo, so no sniper. He's on the demo, and that's going to put a little more pressure onto that sentry and onto the enemy team.
Yeah, definitely, and that Uber exchange there was a little messy. We saw Fordo pop, but he didn't really pop on anyone in particular, so it did end up forcing the red Uber. They are still Uber, or even in Ubers, with Fordo actually having an advantage, probably due to his players being hurt more, but just, yeah, I feel like he could have had a little bit more going on there. But this mini sentry defense does seem to be working. It just keeps getting built back up, and without any frags really coming in, on that Engineer, on the heavy. Ricardo's actually going to get dropped by under 3, coming with a big bomb, takes out Rivet as well. Darty does get some fire damage off of him, but Swords on, that looks like Engineer will actually throw him up and take him out before he's able to get that flog off. So really strong first defense coming in here, again, with some unconventional strats that we're not really used to seeing.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I would have thought with the addition of a demo now, this mini sentry is still doing work, just denying people trying to capture the cart, and anyone else who goes further is, just getting minced up by Chief Bongo and generic name, just putting out so much damage. But losing a medic in that situation, look at Sayori. I don't think Sayori had to pump off an Uber for a while, and as a medic, you're just kind of chilling with your team protecting you with an Uber. You just know that you're going to buy a lot more time. As Forto goes down, generic name with the pipes, just kind of launches one over, lands straight into the face of the medic. And that is just going to be another situation where Team Bro is going to struggle to push here. They've just got no charges to use. A couple of players down now for Source and Friends. This could be an opening to get maybe a force or a pick. But they're really struggling. 1 minute 30 left on the round timer. If that goes down to 0, then it's going to be Source and Friends winning this first round.
Yeah, it's hard to imagine that after that 11-minute hold, we'd see such a Stonewall coming out on first. But that might just be what happens here. You've got all of the red combo just kind of hold up under that under the playground. The cart is going to be getting a little more forward here, but not capped yet. So Darties is going to get some more flame damage. Try to build up this log, since it looks like that seems to be the win condition. Almost. Rivet's getting really aggro here. We'll take out generic name. The flog gets popped. Darty's going in. Gonna take out the heavy, drops the medic. And that's 2 coming in. Darty's gonna probably get a 3rd onto Boyfriend as well. And yeah, that's that. So that flog win condition really really coming in hard right now, as they finally end up capping first here, getting a near wipe. And Rivet's gonna get aggro on Hill here to try to zone this off. So with still 6 minutes left on the clock, this can be pushed. So we're going to have to see if they can keep this aggro going, as Forto does have Uber. Darty's going to drop another flog in. Sayori's going to go down. Oh no, that was actually a Crits Creek. That was a Crits Creek that Forto was on, not an Uber. So the Crits is going to take out Sayori. The cart's being pushed steadily all this time, so might end up being enough without heals on the red team.
Yeah, it's difficult. They're trying to contest this, but at the moment they're just feeding in. Generic name goes down. They just have to regroup here. You know, they got the medic pick onto Fordo, so Ubers are going to be thereabouts equal. But it's taken them 6 minutes for the first 2 points here. That first point just took so long for them to crack. We do see a bit of switching up here. Twitchy is now on the demo instead of Hunter, who's moved on to Soldier. So maybe they're trying to switch things up and, you know, get it working. But Stanley Smith, who's been switching up the classes left, right, and center here, is now on the spy. Maybe trying to get into position to go for a bit of a stab. But we are seeing Chris Creek still run on Fordo, which means there is going to be a charge advantage unless Under 3 comes in and gets a 2K. And Fordo is down. So Yori can breathe again and just rest easy with that Uber charge advantage. Eclipse goes down late on there as Stanley Smith finally decides to make a move for a pick and survives. Gets out there, so he's going to be lurking behind enemy lines, but now Team Bro are going to realize there is a spy in play.
Yeah, one thing I do want to bring up too is that you've been mentioning the class switching, and I think a big part of why Team Bro's been able to push this card so far is Red Team does not have a sniper, which, you know, you can think, oh, they didn't really need one on first that much, but with Uncle Dane on that heavy class sitting on cart without a sniper, he takes so much effort to take down. And he's just kind of slowly going in here. I mean, Under 3 is going to finally take him out, but he's going to kill himself on the bomb. And with Twitchy and Hino getting in on card right now, it looks like they're going to get it up this final ramp. Again, no sniper for that long-range damage, and Under 3 going down on that bomb means that they're just going to kind of walk this in and still have 4 minutes left to push last. So nearly an identical time set through 3 points between these two teams, which, you know, you wouldn't have thought it possible after that first push, but they've been kind of rolling this afterwards, and this level 2 gun is really the only thing stopping them right now.
Wow, so many kills coming in here as Darty pops off. Another flog is going to pick up a few players. Does not get Sayori, though. He's managed to escape the Source. But Source is just on the Engineer class. He's going to have to get a sentry up onto last, perhaps, or, you know, get something done there. Only 2 players alive. Build a sentry. Choose what you're going to do. 3 minutes and 40 seconds. It's still plenty of time, especially as both teams have Ubers. You do see Source building a sentry, but it's far too close. He's going to get set on fire and will die to that afterburn. Uber is going to come in from the defensive side. Generic name is going to get majority of it. Gets so much damage down, and the pipes, in fact, drop Fordo. So much damage. Twitchy and Eclipse are surely going to die as well. They're extremely weak. Under 3 is on the chase. Wants to get that sniper kill. He's got his melee out. Can he get it done? No. Eclipse with the body shot. Just no scopes him to death. But that is a huge Uber coming out here from Source and Friends, just making sure that they weren't going to be pressured really, you know, all the way to their spawn, got aggressive, get the drop, and consolidate their position here. With 3 minutes left, they have to hold this, otherwise it is going to be Team Bro taking the first round.
Yeah, no, this has actually turned into a very close game, which I wasn't expecting after that first half. It does look like we have Darty off of the Flog onto the Degreaser here. So maybe he's just thinking Airblast is going to be more useful. Takes our generic name with a really nice flare. Will drop down into the gun, though, so bit of a misplay. His team is kind of grouping on card, though. They are going to take out Stanley, and Uncle Dane's kind of just sitting on card, which he's kind of used to. Sayori's the only one trying to stop him, actually, with crossbows. They're going to roll this cart right in, and with so many players on red being down, it looks like they're just going to go ahead and cap it, and that's going to be the half.
It's going to be the half indeed, and there's no way I can predict anything out of this game anymore. I mean, Source and Friends looked so strong, pushing for those first few points, and then they just got stuck on last. They just got stuck by this weird forward hold coming out of Team Bro, and then Team Bro struggled for 5-6 minutes to push the first point. You know, it looked like that was going to be the end of the game. Then they roll over the next couple. Like you pointed out, no sniper to defend those huge sightlines that are available on this map. But in the end, they cannot hold on to that last point. And that is going to be the first half. And it's going to be a best of two, or two halves at least. So there will be another attack.
I've actually just been updated. It is only going to be a best of one, as
best of
running
one.
a little behind schedule. So congratulations to Team Bro I Game for coming out with that chaotic but very satisfying to watch win. So
Absolutely.
I believe we'll probably be getting some more players in here in a bit. Probably gonna hop into the server and let them know what's going on. But yeah, just again a crazy game, and I can try to get logs from that, but I don't know if those logs are going to be good for mortal eyes. But I am expecting quite a big top frag coming out from Darty, and that is correct actually. One more frag over Source, 32 and 13 on Pyro, with 419 DPM, actually top damaging the server off of Pyro. So that Flog really doing work.
I mean, if at the start of the game you said to me there's going to be a team that doesn't run a demo on Upward and runs a Pyro, a Flog Pyro instead, I'd have been like, okay, yeah, that'd be good for a laugh, but it's not going to work. But it did work. It did work. 32 for 13, over 4. Only player on the server to get over 400 DPM. That is pretty insane. I mean, I think Source there, doing really well. 31 kills there. 20 of them were on Sniper. And he didn't play Sniper at all during the second half. Was playing Engineer, playing a little bit of Spy. I think if Source had been on Sniper and somebody else had been playing Engineer, maybe get one of the other players to play Engineer and stick them on Sniper, I think they would have probably won that. I just feel that the Sniper battle was going really well for him at the start. Eclipse started coming back. He did go 25 for 17, getting slightly more damage. But Eclipse solely played Sniper. I think Source being in the game would have, on Sniper would have worked pretty well. But absolutely crazy. I mean, the logs can't really describe what we've just watched here. Those crazy defensive Flogger Ubers all the way to spawn. I hope all of the other games have been that entertaining for the players.
Yeah, definitely. And I know I had a lot of fun watching that. Just seeing those Flog plays come in is always something really entertaining.
That's it's something. I mean, that's what I love about these fresh meat cups, these newbie cups, where people come in with their own strats and see what they can make work. Without following a specific meta by the letter. They come in and just say, hey, you know what? We know demo's strong, but we're going to run a Pyro instead, and we're gonna make it work. And they did, in fact, make it work very well. But yeah, again, congratulations to them. I'm not sure if we've gotten an update on the raffles when the results are going to be drawn for the second premium key for Serve Me.
Hey, okay, so what we're gonna do this a little bit right before the next match begins. So I'll give you guys another 2-3 minutes to type in FMPC in the chat, all caps. So yeah, type FMPC in chat, all caps, for a chance to win 6 months of Serve Me Premium. Thank you.
Sounds good. So get those, get typing, guys. FMPC in chat in all caps to try and get a 6 months key for Serve Me Premium. It's amazing. If you want to get involved in competitive, just rent a server and put it to whatever game mode you want and get practicing with your friends, with your team. We'll be going to go to some music for the time being as we wait for the other matches in this round to get finished before we'll be moving on to our final phase of games, and we'll of course be announcing the winner of that second raffle. So we'll see you back in a few minutes.
Ladies, somewhere in this god-forsaken hellhole there is an equally sharply dressed body looking for a little head. STNTrading, for the discerning gentle person. Look at me. The most beautiful and dashingly charismatic gentleman on the face of this planet. And yet, I am less than 1 foot tall. Children, do not smoke. It'll stunt your growth! STNTrading, for the discerning gentleperson. If you think this looks strange, you should see my resolver. STNTrading, for the discerning gentleperson.
Imagine you're lost in an alien world of high walls, mysterious passages.
just happened?
Ha! I fool you, no? Tell me, was it the hat? STNTrading, for the discerning gentle person.
Welcome back to the Fresh Meat Prolander Cup, sponsored by STNTrading. We've seen 2 games so far today. We started off on Product, where we saw Fair Affinity come out 4-0 winners against Ringers. Well, second game, we had a best of 1 over on Payload Map, which was Upward. We saw Source and Friends start off really well, but come undone against Bro, iGame. So they won that game 1-0. We have one more game today. All the teams will be playing one final match. And I'm not sure what map it is. I'm not sure what teams will be looking at either, but we do have the small thing of a raffle to be talking about. Trying to win out some 6-month Serve Me Premium. I'm not sure if we've got the winners yet, or are we doing it now, later?
Oh, we're actually about to announce the winners.
Awesome. So if you haven't already, I think, can you still get in with
Yeah,
chance?
you can. Just type in FMPC in the chat in all caps, and you will be entered for the giveaway.
Good stuff. And do we have a confirmation on what the third map is? Because I like
It
to...
is going to be Coal Plant, I believe.
Coal Plant. Okay.
Getting word it will be the Demonstration Men versus the Grand Gibbous Gang. So
Okay, that's. I'm just going to assume that's going to be an amazing game because they're good team
I'm
names.
excited. I feel like we may have saved the best for last, although it will be hard to top that Upward match.
I do have a question though, because you're American.
Yes.
I can tell. I've worked that out over the past, time we've been spending together. Coal Plant, feelings, thoughts, right? Because I always assumed Coal Plant was more of a European thing. Americans seem to like Asheville a lot more. Is that not the case
This
over here?
is correct, and it is still my firm belief that Asheville is the better map for Highlander. A lot of what makes Coal Plant better, I think, is the more open lobby, which allows for some better rotations. The issue is that in Highlander, you don't necessarily want that because the flanks on Asheville are so hard to control. Sometimes with, soldiers just flying all around everywhere, that Coal Plant and Highlander tends to lead to a soldier jumping on bats and then being on the medic on ramp in, about 3 seconds. Additionally, the sightlines on Coal Plant are a lot better for Sniper, and with a lot of the new maps being played in NA like Cascade and Vigil, there's a lot of emphasis being put on working with the map makers to try to reduce the impact Sniper has, which is one of the reasons why we don't play Coal Plant. The main thing that comes to mind, especially as a med main, is those little wooden fences on the sides of the point that you can actually crack shot through. Have got me killed more times than I can count, especially when I dabbled in ETF2L a couple seasons ago. But
I don't blame you. ETF2L is a step up from anything you have over in America. It's the big boy leagues.
Still don't have the Machina band.
We do now, actually. For this, with
Is
this
it
new
permanently
season.
banned, or is it just that one cup? Because I know.
No. Well, we had the cup to kind of test it out, and now it's permanently banned, as is the Milk, Girardi, and Scorch Shot.
Yeah, we just banned Scorch Shot. Scorch Shot, I don't think should be banned, but I wouldn't mind to see it gone, just off of personal feelings, if not objective game balance.
I mean, it's not something we've seen a lot of here today in Prolander, I think, the Score Shot, because it is it's really good for building up that flog charge. Yeah. So I think that's the only time we've seen it used to kind of good effect. I would expect, on a map like Coal Plant, though, we're going to be seeing a lot more. I mean, if we do have a pyro, it's going to be more shotgun based, more DM based, like Panic Attack. We've seen so far today as well.
Yeah, Darty on Upward was using it to a really good extent. Yeah, to build that flog. I saw a lot of it last season in UGC, right after the pyro changes, when pyro was so powerful. Our pyro ran flog very frequently. It was known and kind of hated for it. So I've seen it a lot, and yeah, it's a very annoying weapon. I can see the rationale behind it. I think from an objective, is this weapon overpowered? Then I think there's arguments both ways, but I wouldn't be overly upset to see it gone.
Hey, just a reminder, we're going to give you guys 2 more minutes to enter for the giveaway. Type in FMPC in the chat for a chance to win 6 months of Serve Me Premium. Thanks.
But yeah, moving on to Coal Plant, though, as our as the server is changing maps. I do think Coal Plant is the better map for Prolander. It's just again due to that lobby kind of being more open. I think it plays towards more classes. Where in Highlander you're trying to keep, in Highlander you're more trying to keep the flank and the sniper under control, which is why I think we lean towards Asheville. On a map like Coal Plant, though, more classes are just more powerful in general because those flanks are so easy. And the point's a little more open. There's a little less chokiness around the ramp area. And I think Prolander is very much a lot about kind of encouraging that class diversity and, not being stuck into these same, 6 or 9 classes like you see often in 6s and HL, but instead saying, okay, well, we can start running, maybe a heavy and a pyro. Oh, is their flank giving us trouble? Let's get an engineer up. And I think Asheville might have been a little more prohibitive to that kind of strategy. But yeah, in Prolander, I think Coal Plant is one of my more favored maps because you really can run a lot of different classes on it. But you got to be smart about it. You can't run a sniper and a spy and play it the same way you would play with a heavy and a pyro. It encourages good, smart class switching, whereas Asheville doesn't. But what are your experiences with Coal Plant and Asheville, if you've had any, CJ? I don't think I've heard much about Asheville from our friends across the pond. So
Yeah, I mean, Asheville is a map that, because obviously in Europe we have ETF12, which is our kind of our main league, and some people play UGC as well. So those of us who've played UGC have played Asheville over the years. I know Coal Plant was first brought about as like a sixes map, like a sixes adaptation of Asheville, so that it was used in ESEA Invite, and we've never really used it in sixes in Europe. But we started having Coal Plant in the Highlander scene, a few seasons ago. I think it was, sometime around last year or 18 months ago that it started being played. We've had Asheville in cups, and I don't know. I think people just seem to prefer Coal Plant for whatever reason. I agree as a medic main, Coal Plant is not really fun because, you peek out that left side and it's like, oh, hey, you're dead because there's a sniper over there and there's nothing you can do about it. But I think, it's all about just adapting to it. Whichever map you play, I think just the fact that in Europe we started off playing Coal Plant a bit more, everyone's just worked on having like a meta for that, and Asheville's just sort of really been ignored, I guess. It's not really played, and obviously we had RGL come over into Europe as well for the first invite season, and Coal Plant's involved in that. So we do see Coal Plant basically just being used, and I know that the Pug site, Highlander Pug site. We have Coal Plant in our rotation. I'm guessing you have Asheville in yours.
indeed.
Yeah, so I mean, we just have, I don't know, better taste, I guess, just more refined brains. I don't know. I mean, just superior in every way, I guess, over in Europe.
Hey, we're going to announce the winners of the raffles in 10 seconds. So if you haven't entered already, don't forget to enter the raffle. 10 more seconds, okay? I'm going to put a countdown in the chat.
Yep, FMPC in chat. And, I guess that did cut off my my rebuttal, but as much as I do love the Europeans and their witty banter, which definitely is a step up on NA banter. The last time I played ETF2L, I had to play Barn Blitz and Gravel Pit, so.
No. There is nothing wrong with those maps. They're no longer in the rotation in Europe, which is very sad. I like those maps. I like them because I think as long as a map isn't fundamentally bad, I think you can adapt and develop strategies for it that make it work to your advantage.
What's the hat? STNTrading for the discerning gentle person.
Gravel Pit is less of the map being bad and more that it takes significantly more time to get players in than it does to cap.
Okay, yeah. I mean,
Okay, so the winner was Xmas Panda. You have 1 minute to reply, and after that, we're going to reroll for another winner. So if you're still here, PM me, and PM the Freshman Prolander Cup Twitch on messages, or type in the chat, and I'll be able to see you. So if you're still here, type in the chat, and I will send you your code.
There we go. Congratulations, Christmas Panda. Make sure you PM Fresh Meat Prolander Cup, the Twitch channel, account PM for your key for 6 months free of Serve Me Premium. But yeah, I agree with what you're saying. I think my dislike of Gravel Pit